The series of discussing about the privacy compliance program for Indian businesses. Let's take the first step today. Let's see how should an Indian organization start their journey towards privacy compliance. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily see new content on data privacy. And as I said, let's start talking about the first step to build up a good privacy program. So the first thing is you need to have a set of people who are going to handle privacy. Not really depending on your workload. You need to appoint one or many people. For example, you are a small organization, 20, 50 people, not too tech savvy, but you do have digital data, right? So you can have an external team helping you out. Like we have in India, we do a lot of external activities in terms of our financial accounting, our taxation matters. There are external agencies, they'll send their accountant who'll post data for us, who'll audit data for us, who'll prepare the balance sheet for us. DPO as a service is available in India, and you can hire DPOs externally, and their teams can help you in the smaller activities like privacy awareness within your organization. So, a small organization can have an internal role or a one member, two member external role. A mid sized organization, 100, 500 people organization can also take external services, but by the law, if you're an enterprise dealing with large amount of data or dealing with sensitive data, then you need to build up your own team. You need to hire a DPO based in India, and accordingly, then he has to build up his team down to, you could have a privacy manager per department, again, depending on the volumes and kind of personal data that your organization is handling, sensitive or non-sensitive. So privacy teams would initially begin up defining the privacy policies for your organization. The DO would have that and approve that. And then, of course, they need to develop the best practices around privacy and re-engineer all the processes of the organization, something that Dr. N. Kobukian termed as privacy by design. And I had the video a couple of days back on privacy by design for Indian businesses, where there are 7 principles that you should follow and structure all the processes within your organization so that privacy is taken care of when the normal routine working of the organization is happening. And then, of course, you need to perform the regular the privacy assessments and report on to the regulators. Again, a DPO function, internal or external. And as I said, if you are a significant data fiduciary handling with larger volumes of information or handling sensitive personal data, then you need to have a internal built Indian-based data protection officer. First thing he has to do is to do data mapping. Understand the entire amount of data that is there in your organization already existing or being collected now. We could be as small as just delivering a technical equipment, implementing and supporting it. Now it is a very small business to say, but your marketing will find a customer for you. So they have phone number. Sales would help get that converted. So now they have the address and maybe email IDs. Billing will deliver it to them, invoice it to them, sorry. So they also need the address and maybe if it's an organization, the customer, then the GST number, etc. The logistics have to deliver it. So logistics get the information. Technical team has to implement it. Now they don't need the banking information. Banking information is required by the finance person who's going to collect the bill, right? Technical team also needs the address and phone number, right? And then the technical team keeps supporting. So what looks at like as a small, just delivering a technical product and implementing and supporting it has a lot of functions which include implementing and supporting with all the personal information of the customer that you have. So you need to identify what data is collected and how is it collected. How safe is it? Are you deploying a third party to collect personal data on your behalf? How are they storing it? How are you storing it? Why was this data collected? What is the purpose of it? Have you collected access information? Privacy principle says data minimization. Data collected, minimum, limited to the purpose. So data minimization and purpose limitation. And who can access this data? Access the data and classify this data into personal and sensitive data. Once you have classified this data, it becomes even more important and easier for you to lay down the processes or refresh your existing processes for the handling of that particular data. You need to understand, as I mentioned in the previous slide, purpose of the data. Collect minimum data as per the defined purpose. Understand how this data flows across your organization. I give you the example. So how does the address flow for the customer and why does the finance need address? They only need banking information. And the implementation guide does not need the banking information. So how does the data flows in the entire organization is something that you have to understand and re-engineer your processes. You cannot have one single sheet having all the information about a customer and share it with all the teams. Like I said, the finance person is more interested in banking information and the technical person is more interested in the address of the customer, phone number of the customer. Maybe it's a slightly more consumable thing and there are preferences or settings. Then again, only technical person is interested, not the customer, not the finance, not the billing. Right? What is the life of this data? Do you think it is going to be there with you forever, or after the purpose is done, you'll delete it? DPDP Act says that if you are an e-commerce company and a customer stops placing orders or interacting with you and does not do that for 3 years, then you can delete that data or you should delete that data. So you need to define the deletion process for yourself. How long-term storage practices are being managed in your organization? What is the data deletion process followed just to ensure that when you claim you have deleted the data, it's actually deleted, right? And deleted in such a way that no one else can retrieve out of it. Decaused, or tampered or whichever way, melting and boiling water and all those things, any of the methods that you want to adopt, but ensuring that it is not recoverable from the disk from where it has been deleted. Document and recreate each of your processes. So, as a first step, you build a privacy team and then you understand what data you have and how is it mapped and how does it flow across the organization so that you can re-engineer your processes and document them well. Video, as I mentioned, we'll continue talking more about the privacy compliance program in subsequent videos. You can subscribe to my channel, share your feedback in the comment section, and press the bell and the like icon. Thank you.